Hi there, I'm Shavik, and today's topic is what is WIP limit and how we calculate WIP limit for a column or for a entire Kanban board. Okay, so WIP limit, or as we normally say, work in progress limit, is a cap on a number of work items in each process step. Okay, so team decides and set a maximum number of prioritized work items that's allowed in each phase of the project execution. So it is a fixed constraint that enables the team to finish the work items already in a work column, before introducing more work. So applying WIP limits is an essential practice in Kanban, and this allows team to optimize work capacity, right? And not just optimizing the work capacity, but it's also stabilize the flow of the work and increase the predictability, which are the key elements for creating a pull-based system. And yeah, it helps the teams in achieving higher quality and improved delivery performance. Yeah. Okay, to give an example, take a simple software development workflow. So there might be a WIP limit, say, of 8 items in the incoming queue, and then 3 items in design, and say 4 items in development, 3 items in testing, and 5 items in ready for release. Yeah. So there is no limit in the done column though. So we normally don't keep any WIP limit on the done column. So now you may ask me that why there is a WIP limit in the incoming queue. So the work has not started yet. So why to put a work in progress limit, right? So it's a valid question. So WIP also stands for a work in process. It's just not a work in progress. It also stands for work in process. And incoming queue or a funnel or a ready to pick columns are included in the Kanban flow to manage the uncertainty and keep a separate column for prioritized item that is ready to be picked up next by the team members, right? So in the project's pipeline there can be like 50 or 100 work items, but out of those 50 or 100, only top 8 prioritized items are pulled into this incoming queue, and keep on replenishing this column to make sure that the next set of prioritized work items are always ready for them to pick up. Yeah. You may think that why there is a need for having a WIP limit, and how limiting numbers of work item is going to help the team. So let me share a few scenarios. First, so team is great at starting new work items, but not so great at finishing them. Okay, so now what happens? So this results with many work items that are partially done, or very few completed, right? So nothing is getting finished. Yeah, so that's a problem. Yeah, that's affecting our lead time or the cycle time. So applying WIP limits here will prevent the new work items to get started until the previous items that that are taken up by the team members are delivered, right? So it will help in managing the flow of the work, right? And team will start finishing and stop starting, right? Second, team members are working on multiple work items in parallel. So yeah, they are multitasking and switching between different work items. So what they are not aware is that the context switching is costing them time, their concentration and accuracy. So when we switch from one task A to task B before completing task A, we lose the momentum that we had on the task A, right? And sacrifice the time it will take for our brains to get settled into the task B. So instead of moving fast, we are actually losing time here. So applying WIP limits will help the number of active work items small, so that the team can concentrate and focus on the items at hand rather than getting distracted. Third, bottlenecks. So sometimes things get piling up under one process column, right? And many a times it gets hard for the team to get over them, as they get overwhelmed by the number of bottlenecks, right? So the metrics, even our metrics, looks bad, and the team panics. So in such a case, applying WIP limits not only will keep the number of bottlenecks smaller, but it will also help the team to identify the exact location of the bottlenecks, and take some timely action to fix the issue before these bottlenecks turns into the complete blocker. Fourth and the last one from my side, at least whatever I think, there can be many more, but yeah. So fourth one is deliver value faster. So applying WIP limit will help team to complete the number of active work items in progress faster. And that's because the more active work team have in their system, the slower real customer value is delivered, right? So also limiting WIP here improves the delivery rate, or you can say the throughput, right? So the team can continuously meet or exceed the customer expectations. Now, the question comes that how you will calculate the WIP limit for each of the process columns and the entire board. So there is an approach which is based on four factors. Those are like team size, like how many team members you have, and then the value added time for each of the column, and then the total value added time and the process efficiency. So to get the process efficiency and this value added time, we need to perform a VSM, like value stream mapping workshop with the team, right? And then we can get those values and calculate these three factors. So once we have the required values, we can calculate the total WIP needed for the team's entire Kanban board. And the formula to calculate the total WIP is like number of team members divided by the efficiency, right? So suppose the team's efficiency is 50%, okay, and the total number of team members are 5, then the total WIP limit will be 10 for the entire Kanban board. Yeah. Next up, to calculate the WIP limit for say each process columns, first we need to calculate the percentage of the value added time for each of this processes from the total value added time and multiply that to the total WIP. So say to learn it from an example, say our total value added time is 15 days, and value added time for testing process is 5 days. So percentage of total value added time for testing will be approximately 33%. Okay. So the percentage of total value item is like a value added time for each column divided by total value added time. Okay. So then we can calculate the WIP limit for testing process by using a formula, that is percentage of total value added time for the testing multiply with the total WIP limit. Yeah. So in this case, the WIP limit for testing column will be 33%, and our total WIP was 10. So our WIP limit for testing column will be somewhere around 3. Yeah. Well, though it seems more organized way to determine the WIP limit, I prefer the simple way. So the reason is that even though after putting in so much of effort to derive these WIP limits, it is not guaranteed to be perfect, right? We must keep on gauging whether these WIP limits are working best for our team or not. I prefer to experiment with WIP limits while calculating at least the initial WIP limits. So I take teams help to look out for the process steps which experience delay. So it can be like say design phase is experiencing more delay, or maybe the testing process was experiencing more delay. So I take teams help here, and then we try to find the WIP limit that is low enough to identify the bottlenecks and promote a smooth flow. So how we find that WIP limit? Yeah, so I look for answers for two simple questions: how many team members we have, and how many work items they need to work on at one time, right? And depending on the kind of work items the team does and the number of people that we have in the team, a good starting point is, let's say, probably somewhere between the number of team members plus one, or maybe twice the number of team members. Yeah. So for example, a good WIP limit for a team of 5 people is probably somewhere between say 6 to 10 work items, right? And the same goes for the process steps as well. Say we have a one tester in the team, and then the WIP limit for the testing process column can be in between 1 or 2 work items. Yeah. I'll suggest not to take too much of a stress while doing the or deciding the initial WIP limits. The initial the limits, like it may not be accurately represent the team's capacity, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. The more team do their work, and they religiously follow the WIP limits, the better they can derive what limit works best for them. Yeah. So it takes time to learn new patterns, right? Yeah, and usually teams start with a higher number, but start reducing the number over the time as they refine and improve the processes. And the higher the number, the slower the system works. So small numbers indicate an effective and quick process. So you see, the goal of Kanban system is to provide maximum value while eliminating waste. So when team juggle between multiple tasks, they waste a lot of time and they become inefficient and don't get a lot of work done. So applying WIP limits will help team manage the flow of the work efficiently, and team will also finish everything faster, and the time it will take will be more predictable, right? And the rate they finish won't be affected. Yeah. And yeah, also as a team coach or maybe a scrum master or a Kanban master, whatever you say, do make sure to keep good communication with the team so you can all work together to establish a good WIP limit, right? And while having this conversation, you will learn more about your team and the way they work, right? Even though the goal to have the people do less at any one point of time, it shouldn't come at the expense of team's happiness. Think about what the happy place for the team is. Thank you for listening. Cheers.